we said don't do it. I wanted to be clear because we only put the question up.
I'm pretty sure I said it was fine.
And we were like, this is not a great idea. We don't think that you should microdose your husband. Anyway,
No,
have a
Keisha
listen.
said, does he have life insurance? Do it.
Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Life Uncut. I'm Laura.
I'm Brittany, and it's holiday season.
Welcome to our festive little holiday content drop. What is this?
What do you reckon we're doing right now in future Laura, Brittany, and Keisha?
Oh, what is it? Okay.
I'm having sex for
We're-
sure.
Do you do anything else when you're with Ben?
Well, sorry, I don't see you for 3 months. Yeah, and actually, no, we just go red hot for like a week and then it dies down.
I was going to say, by this time, you would have been with him for 4 weeks. If you're still doing it at that point, like,
Well done.
get a TV. Get a
Get
job.
some chores.
Nah, we won't be doing anything at this point. Let's be real.
Okay, so at this point now, 2 weeks into January, God, who knows? I think I'll probably be lying on a beach somewhere.
Oh, that sounds nice. I'm hoping to have painted the remainder of my house. The DIY got put on hold for a while because we got Bonnie, and so I'm really hoping to have that finished.
Well,
That's
I
like
think
my goal.
I win. I'm the most interesting. Sorry, guys.
We really have
Sorry.
different aspirations. I mean, you've got on your holiday, we have a calendar, like a shared time tree that we all share together. And Brit just has Milan as
Must
one
be
of her
nice.
as one of her updates.
No,
I've got
sorry.
Ulladulla.
Sorry, can I
I've
tell
got
you what that?
Bonnie desexing.
No, yeah, they're very different. Milan is my update, but Milan, sorry. Okay, we need to set the scene here. We have a shared calendar for work, but we also put all our extra stuff. It's become our main calendar. We put it in case we've got an interview that wants a different time frame. We're like, oh, we can't. Brit has another skin appointment.
Brit is going to
Can't do it.
Milan.
So we have a shared calendar like that. But that Milan, I'm not in Milan. That's my reminder that's sometimes I put the teams that Ben's playing in there so I know where he'll be.
Got you.
So Milan-
That's nice. So it's
yeah.
also Ben's calendar now too. That's great.
So Ben's in Milan.
It's to help us with like scheduling conflicts, but this works. Well, no, you guys know we are on holidays, but in the interim, we wanted to bring you some tasty little morsels. And this, my dear friends, is a long-awaited Ask Uncut Aftermath.
This isn't a tasty little morsel. This is like when you go away on holiday and you wake up in the morning to an all-you-can-eat buffet. Like we are
Fuck
bringing
yeah.
you the goodness in this aftermath. There are some pretty fucking funny aftermaths here, and there are some serious ones and some sad ones too.
Well, I mean, you guys send in so many questions, and we've said this from the get-go. We receive thousands of questions. We do not receive thousands of updates, okay? And it is a sore point. It hurts us that we don't know what's happened in all of your lives. You take our advice. We don't know if you actually implement it or not, or whether you just...
Crash and burn.
Yeah, well, sometimes...
We get ghosted heaps. It reminds me of dating.
True. But also sometimes it's like one of those things where you want the advice. Like your friend will say, you shouldn't date him. Like it's terrible. Don't sleep with him again. You deserve better. And then you know that they're right, but you do it anyway. And we're not here to judge. We want to know, even if you did do it anyway, even if you didn't take our advice, tell us. We want to know. But we did receive so many. Since we did the last Ask Uncut Aftermath, which was in June, we received a lot of updates. So we have some really good ones for you guys. And I know that you feel the same that we do, that you hear the questions and you just want to know where a life are at.
There are questions I still think about from years ago. Like, did that chick have her cousin's baby? I will never be able to move on with my life until I know if she had her cousin's kid.
Yeah. I
Like,
reckon she did.
She's not, well, maybe she did because she's not letting us know.
How do you tell your auntie at like Christmas lunch and be like,
Well, I don't think
Inception?
you don't tell anyone.
I think you have to because the cousin is the dad of the baby.
No, but he didn't know. He didn't know she was pregnant.
Yeah, but you've got to tell them if he's a dad.
But
she was
she's with
married.
her husband. That was the. It's so
Laura
long ago.
forgot
Laura's
the
forgotten.
affair.
No, so she had an affair. Just to backtrack, she was married, and they were having trouble falling pregnant. Then she ended up hooking up with a cousin at a wedding, falling pregnant, but not knowing then if it was from the husband or the cousin, and that's why it was such a predicament because they'd been trying.
I remember the question, but I still think that if you choose to have your cousin's baby, the kid needs to know who its father is.
I disagree.
Who is your father?
That secret goes to the grave.
All right, let's kick this off. The way that we're going to do this is the same way we did on the last ep, where we're going to play you the original question. We're going to quickly recap what our answer was, and then we're going to get the update. All right, hit it.
I have a crush on my husband's brother.
Perfect.
I feel like we can end there. Don't do it.
That's a terrible idea.
Okay, for context, my husband and I live in Australia. Both of our immediate families are overseas. We've been together for 13 years, married for 8, and share a 2-year-old daughter, and I love him. We have our ups and downs like normal couple. Right now, my brother-in-law is visiting from overseas with his 7-year-old daughter, and they are staying with us for 2 weeks. His wife will be joining him at a later part of the holiday in another city, so we're not going to be seeing her at all. Ever since dating my husband, every time I see his brother, I just feel like I want to impress him. This is the first time he's ever been to Australia, and I feel like the crush is getting more intense. I even have this sexual fantasy with him in my head. I feel horny and try to put out the fire by banging my husband instead, which is really good for him, I guess. I can't explain
Oh
it.
no, imagine if you told him. Imagine if he knew.
No, you don't
that-
tell
I know
him.
you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't. But like, imagine you're like, which is really good for him instead. Just imagine if he knew that while you were fucking him, you were thinking of his brother.
I can't explain it. Not that it will ever lead to anything, but the fact I constantly want to impress him drives me crazy. What should I do?
I feel like this needs no explaining. We said that was a terrible idea and you should stay away from the brother. Don't do anything. It's a fantasy. It's the forbidden fruit. And that's why feel like there's some more intensity around it.
Well,
We
we
were just like,
thought-
it's a no. It's a no. Everything about this is a no.
I'm pretty sure I said that it was like they're probably very similar and it's like the upgraded version of your husband because you don't see all the baggage and shit
Yeah.
doesn't come with it. The dad life and the nagging and everything else. So he probably looks like your husband but just doesn't have all the extra stuff that wants to drag you down.
It was a very straightforward answer. Because I think any normal person who heard that question would be like, oh, objectively terrible idea. Don't do anything.
Don't fuck
Just
your brother.
continue to fuck your husband and pretend like it's his brother if that's going to get you off. But don't tell anyone. Take it to the grave. You're not actually in love with your husband's brother.
I also love that this question. I love that it wasn't like getting something off your chest. It was a genuine question. At the end, it was like, what should I do? Nothing.
Okay, well, we have an update. And to be like, I appreciate how much you have felt about this and how, like, once you heard the answer, you were like, no, because, like, there wasn't much time in between. And she says that in the answer. She really wanted to let us know what the aftermath is here. And, we
Applaud you.
what's the thing? We
listen and we don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge.
We have an episode last year that was titled "We Judge and We Don't Listen."
I feel like that's what this one is.
Okay, I have to give you the aftermath instantly because I just can't go on about my day without letting this out. They left and continued with their trip before this episode even aired. Nothing happened. Phew! Both of you are right. It is the naughtiness and the forbidden fruit and also the upgraded version of my husband in the sense of no stress attached, but just the happy holiday mood. I did enjoy the hand touches, messages, and all the moments that we got close with or without my husband around. They were all innocent though. And to answer your question, what if he's also keen? Well, that's the fantasy and the feeling that I can't shake. I feel like we're going to kiss.
What?
Wait, I feel like we're going to kiss. But we are both adult enough to know that this is just going to be a one-off situation, satisfying the temptation. Then we're just going to go back to our families. It's really taking up lots of brain space for me. Now that he's gone, I feel a void. I'm still looking at the pictures, thinking about the good times that we shared, asking my husband what they're up to. I feel like this fantasy is never going to go away now, that it's been so intensified, and even if I try my best to squash it down, it'll come back when we go overseas to see my husband's family. I hate that I'm looking forward to seeing him again. Anyway, thanks so much for sharing your thoughts. I'm so glad that I can at least tell someone about this, my deepest, darkest secret. It makes me feel better. Kiss, kiss.
I think we're going to kiss?
It took, that answer took such a turn. It was like a dog leg in the road.
I appreciated the U-turn.
Everything was like,
No, the hand touches.
no, she was like, you're right. It is a fantasy. Nothing happened. I'm so great. We're going to make out. It's going to happen. I'm going to fuck my life up. Watch me do it.
Do you know when she says that? I imagine it to be like a scene out of a movie. You know how she's like the hand touches, the moments. I picture it like they're like chopping dinner and cooking and it's just a graze across the hand and like a little eye. Like it's very romantic in my mind. But the thing that gets me is like, I know you're right, but we're just going to kiss and then we'll go back to our families. We're just going to like have a little smooch and then like play on. You can't smooch your brother-in-law and play on.
No, you
There's no
can't.
play on button. It's a pause, rewind, and then scratch of the CD. Like it's done in dead in the water. If you make out with your brother-in-law, you're cooked like a rotisserie chicken.
Also, is it worth the risk? Because there's a very good chance someone's
No.
going to find out at some point. Someone might find out if you make out with your brother-in-law. Is it worth blowing up your life for a little bit of a fantasy? I just don't think
Also,
so.
you know what? There's
Not
also
for a
like
makeout.
there's I'm not ever condoning cheating with what I'm about to say, but when we say cheating's not all black and white, there is a difference with cheating and making out with someone on a night out and making out with your husband's brother. Like that is the ultimate betrayal. You do not come back from that. You might come back from a slip up cheating elsewhere. You're not coming back. He's never forgiving you. The brother-in-law's wife is never forgiving you. Your family will be ripped apart. It is absolutely not worth
Brittany,
it.
tell this life what you really feel.
I do. It's not. It is. I'm not. Look, I love
I'm like,
it. I love
how
the
alike
life.
do they look? Could you get away with a mistaken identity?
I'd had a few margaritas and I thought it was Paul, all right?
Unless they're identical twins, but like, and I'm not judging the lifer. I love her. I love that she wrote in. I'm just saying unequivocally, it's a bad idea. Don't do it.
Like 2026, the year that you made out with your brother-in-law, that's going to really go down in history. I reckon it's a terrible idea. I think you also know it's a terrible idea. But as you said, I reckon you're going to kiss and then you're just going to go back to your merry life.
You're not.
I do think that this is going to be one of those situations where it just keeps intensifying. Especially the way that she's gone about and said it, she's like, I feel like this fantasy is never going to go away now. It's been so intensified. The only issue is, well, actually there's a few, but the big issue is if you make out with him, it's never going back. That is only going to intensify the fantasy. That's going to turn into a full-fledged affair.
See, I actually feel as though the anticipatory dopamine that you're getting from this fantasy, there is no way that actually kissing him is going to live up to that.
No.
I think that you're getting the most amount of excitement because it's like, oh, I wonder. And like, that's all exciting. I actually reckon that if you did, and I'm not suggesting you should, just to be clear, I just don't think it's actually going to live up to what you think it might.
I disagree. I think it'll just up the ante. It'll go from being just
so
a
do
kiss
I.
to just a finger bang and then just a finger bang to just a, it's going to, she's going to destroy me.
There
It's
is
gonna
no
happen.
fucking way that they're going to kiss and be like, oh, it's done.
Yeah, that was
the fantasy's
weird.
gone.
Yeah.
Like it will turn
It's
into something.
scratched. Oh, wow. Thank God we did that. She's going to be like, get your willy out.
It's just a bad idea. There's just nothing in it. There's no
It does
part of
run in
me.
the family.
It's a bad
right.
idea. It's a bad idea. And if you missed it, it's a bad idea.
Thank you for the update, though. We're grateful.
But we are going to need an update if you kiss him.
We
need
listen and we judge. Thank you. Thank you.
It doesn't mean I like you any less because I'm telling you it's a bad idea. What it does mean is, though, whatever you decide to do, if you do it, we also need to know because you are anonymous. So we just need to know. Okay.
This could be like the never-ending update. Like
I
I
love that.
want like an every 3-month update. I
Should we
want to
get
know.
her on the pod?
Yeah.
She's the life of bonus ep. We can blur her face.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your childhood. All right. Next question. Sorry, next question.
Just wind back.
All right, well, this question actually was, I think, the most interacted with Ask Uncut question that we put on our Instagram of the year. It had over 5,000 responses to it, and it was actually shared 630 times. And I think that a lot of the comments, reading kind of between the lines, it showed how relatable this was to so many people amongst their own friendship groups. So this is what the initial question was.
Am I being overly sensitive or is it completely okay that I feel devastated about this? I found out recently that my very close group of girlfriends created another group chat that I wasn't invited to. Now, the story behind this is one of my best friends has gone away for her 40th to Port Douglas with 2 of our other girlfriends, and I had absolutely no idea about it. I hadn't been invited. I only found out when I asked where she was when she didn't turn up to our kids' football game. She told me on the day that she had spoiled herself with a little trip to Port Douglas. However, she didn't mention who it was with. Only that it was for her 40th. I asked her who she went with and she never replied despite having a huge conversation via text. I found out from another mum that she's gone away with 2 of our best friends. This has absolutely devastated me as I thought our friendship was on the same level and would never have thought that I would be excluded or that I wouldn't be invited or even for it to be mentioned to me. I feel like it's been hidden from me. I feel like completely shutting down. What should I do? I just don't trust them anymore. Am I being too sensitive or is this a very valid feeling?
This one really hurt my heart a little bit. And I think I gave the advice of I don't think you need to have a chat with them necessarily because, actions can sometimes speak louder than words. They've done it. They made a group chat. They
knew
went
what
away.
they were doing. Yeah,
Yeah. The only thing I want to say quickly is, which is unrelated to that, it just made me giggle as I was listening. It's a bit unrelated, but when she says they went to Port Douglas and it just made me think of, and when she's like they didn't show up. It made me think of when I had my birthday in Port Stephens and Laura didn't show up, and it's because she drove 3 hours to Port Douglas.
No, she drove to.
I drove
The wrong port.
south. I drove. No, it wasn't. You didn't have it in. No, you had it in.
You had in Shoal Bay, and she drove to Shoal
Yeah.
Haven.
You had
Oh,
Shoal
same.
Bay, Shoalhaven. I was like, where are you talking about? No,
Can't drive to Port
because
Douglas.
you'd said south earlier in the week, and so I just assumed. And I know where Shoalhaven is. I grew up down that way, so I just got in the car, started driving, and then when I put the thing in the maps, I was like, "You fuck off, Brittany. You said south, and
was
it is
funny.
evidently north."
For anyone who's not from around here, Shoal Bay is probably
It's
two
3
and a-
hour-
two
no.
hour and a half hours, maybe even 3 from where we are. Shoal Haven's what, an hour and a half south?
Yeah, so
that created.
So she drove 7 hours. She goes 3 hours, 3 hours, and then an hour and a half.
Anyway, we digress. Look, in this instance, it was very evident that like it was a purposeful thing. They created a separate group chat to be able to create and have a conversation about this birthday party or birthday trip away. You weren't invited, and as devastating as that was for you, I think where we landed with this is that sometimes in friendship groups, you can feel a lot closer to people than what they necessarily are to you. And so this felt like and looked like a very one-sided friendship. And your response to that really reinforced this.
Okay, this is the aftermath. I avoided the group to protect my heart and my insecurities. It took me a while to accept that maybe I just wasn't as close to the group as I thought I was. The friend whose birthday it was actually approached me and confronted me about it. She said that, quote, they didn't even think about me at the time and didn't even think to invite me.
That's so much
Which
worse.
is actually worse. Like, why would you say, sorry, like, why would you even say that? She said she knows that this sounds worse and then she's sick inside about it all the time. Well, that's a lie. I said that, yep, that does sound worse and that I thought I was worth more to her. She said that we have been through so much this year and she knows that we can get past this, but I disagree wholeheartedly. I was completely validated by the response on the podcast and worked out that I deserved better than this situation.
Yeah.
I am civil and polite if I see them, but I've detached myself from them completely. If they wanted me there, then they wouldn't have thought twice and I would have been there. Unfortunately, it is what it is. P.S. for context, there was no real catalyst to this. It just happened. I got promoted and now I work at a different location, but the connection and friendship still stayed strong and I still live in the same small town. I'm sure there is more to this in their own little world, which is probably true. Like, there's always something, people think different things or people think something's gone down that hasn't, or maybe someone has said that someone said something. Like, there's always more to a story usually. And I'm not saying that against this girl. I'm just saying in their heads, you know.
Maybe there was a bit of jealousy because she got promoted.
Maybe there's jealousy. Absolutely. Look, it's a bit mean girls, which I am not. So my ability to recognize that this hurt me and that I needed to be protective of my heart came from the validation I got from you girls on the podcast. I've never felt so supported in a space where I feel so alone. I'm a better person for it all.
That's so sad. But, you know, when I read this and also listening back to when you first wrote the question, as much as she might say, oh, we didn't even think to invite you, my guess would be that because there was a separate group chat that was created and you were the only person missing from it, it was quite an intentional thing.
It was intentional, of
And as
course.
much as she might, you know, try and dress it up in whatever way possible, turning around and saying, oh, we just totally forgot that you existed, it almost just rubs salt in the wound. Like, there was such an unnecessary conversation. It could have just been a, hey, I'm really sorry, you know, for whatever is the true reason. And then I guess it would have given you more clarity. But in this sort of
Yeah.
situation, you've done the only thing you can do, and that's pull away from the friendship.
It was definitely intentional
Yeah.
for that reason. But the only other thing that, like, this response doubled down and validated our response when she said that they didn't even think about me at the time and didn't even think to invite me. That woman's response to you and the way she handled
So
it
mean.
really validates that you've done the right thing and that they're not the right group of friends, because she even knows what she's doing in that. By going to you and saying, sorry, I didn't even think of you, she knows what that does. She's a grown-ass woman.
Yeah.
But I do think, going back to the start, Lakeish, and when you said it had more than 600 shares, if there's anything to take away from this, it's the fact that you are not the only person going through this. Like, I can guarantee you those shares was sending to friends being like, wow, this is familiar, isn't it? Like, people just absolutely relating to that. And unfortunately, it also, you think that this kind of thing you grow out of in school. You think that once you're out of school that this finishes, and the same kind of issues you have dissipate, but they don't. They just evolve, and they're in every generation. And I know people in their 60s that are having friendship issues. Like, it doesn't change. It just evolves and looks a little bit different in each chapter.
All right, next question. Now, this is one that was supposed to be a little bit of fun on social media. We cut this one down because it was lighthearted. We took it seriously, as we do with all of our questions. But the content and the context of it really wasn't that serious.
I would say we got roasted like a roast tomato.
We did. We did get roasted.
Particularly on TikTok. People were like, I can't believe how irresponsible this is. We were getting all of the labels.
But also, we said don't do it. I wanted to be clear because we only put the question up.
I'm pretty sure I said it was fine.
And we were like, this is not a great idea. We don't think that you should microdose your husband. Anyway,
No,
have a
Keisha
listen.
said, does he have life insurance? Do it.
Have a listen to the question. How do I tell my husband I've been adding tomatoes to his sorry, this is so stupid, to his dishes? Hear me out though, you'll know why. My husband told me when we met that he is allergic to tomatoes, as in he gets IBS from it and he ends up on the toilet. For 6 years, I have not cooked with tomatoes. Can you imagine how hard that is? No tomato in any dishes. It has been hell. But about 4 weeks ago, I got ballsy and I started adding tomatoes to things. Like
That is ballsy if someone's allergic.
like to the bolognese. Lol, she writes. I even blended it so he wouldn't see it. Oh my God, it tasted amazing. God, I'd missed tomatoes. It had been so long. Anyways, he didn't run to the toilet afterwards. And he said that was my best bolognese yet. Obviously, because it had fucking tomatoes in it. So the last 4 weeks, I have been adding tomatoes to our dinners and hiding it. And then he has been completely fine. So my issue is this. How do I tell him that he's not allergic to tomatoes? Or do I just never tell him? Help. He will soon be so mad if he finds out what I have done to him. So not only was he going to be mad, the internet was mad. The internet was mad because the internet is convinced that you were trying to murder your husband. It's Mushroom Gate all over again is what the internet thought about this one.
But also, he wasn't anaphylactic.
No, he had an intolerance.
Because all she said was he didn't run to the toilet. So he obviously it probably just upset his stomach. So she's like, fuck it, I'm going to try.
Yeah, but this is my issue. A lot of people say that they've got an allergy to something, but really they've just got the mildest of intolerances. Like the amount of people that are like, wheat, dairy, onions, gluten, garlic. And I'm like, I know it's not comfortable. I know it hurts the belly.
Every single thing you just said is actually me.
But you still...
Wait, Brit, it's time for an intervention.
Dairy.
Sorry, Brit. I meant to say that to you. I hate it when you complain.
But I don't say I'm allergic. I can still... Oh, I'm still smashing a garlic bread. I know what it'll do to me after, but I'll do it.
Which is the thing I love about you, because I know that you shouldn't eat it, but you're like, it's fucking good and I will.
Yeah,
right?
I was like, I'll do it later. I'm going to be home for a couple of
Yeah,
hours.
you know that Kate Moss phrase? It's like nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. Fuck off.
It's a
Heaps
lie.
of things taste way
Nothing
better.
tastes as good as garlic bread.
Everything tastes better.
But I also shared that I had an ex that I know was lying about the fact that he was lactose intolerant because I think he thought it made him seem a little bit more like
Cool.
evolved, you know?
Which
like,
is so dumb.
He only drinks
Yeah.
nut milk.
Truly. I used to cook with it all the time and people also came for me in the comments saying
But and maybe sometimes that's the problem with when we just share the question and we don't share our response, because we did get absolutely reamed up the butthole with this one. But we did say don't do it. We have a laugh and ha ha ha. But we also said, like, look, if the guy's allergic, maybe let him know that he should test it out and see, and maybe do that in a safe place with an EpiPen and triple O.
I also just love that people felt so angry, and I know who those angry people were. It was not the people with a nut allergy. It was not the people with a shellfish allergy. It was the people who say, I can't eat gluten or I'll die. It was they were the people that were popping off in comment section. Anyway, don't come for me.
Okay, this is the aftermath. It's very short and sweet. I did come clean after the comments on your post made me feel so guilty, which I hate.
I'm sorry.
Because imagine when it's you and you're
I
going
supported
through it.
you.
Yeah, Keisha did. I actually forgot to add the most important part to my question, though. This is the fact that my lovely husband was told also not to eat curry, coffee, alcohol because of these reactions. But he still has all of those things all the time.
So he just cherry picked the tomato.
He probably just doesn't think he likes them.
Maybe he's got gout. Maybe it was a gout thing, because that's all they're all gouty foods.
So I felt a little justified giving him the tomato, knowing he was eating the curry, coffee, alcohol when he also was told he couldn't. Why should me and our kids suffer? Lol. He was surprisingly okay after I told him, but now I am back to making 2 separate dinners.
Oh, That's such a ball ache. Get him to make his own dinner.
I reckon he just didn't like tomatoes, so he added it into the allergy list.
I think that from the list here, it sounds as though he's on a FODMAP diet, like the anti-inflammatory
Yeah, it's
style.
like IBS. He's got
yeah,
IBS.
I mean, he might have something.
The guy's got IBS. He's
I like that we're diagnosing him now too.
We're also now
got gout.
dietitians
and he appears to be
Bloated.
and immunologists.
All right, next question. I still feel weird about this one. I still think about it, and I honestly was like, I hope that she did not go on this date. Like, I hope that she didn't pity date the person who would send this. Have a listen.
Is a 6-minute voice note from a potential date a red flag?
Yes.
Now, this needs some context because generally speaking, a 6-minute voice note could be. My friend was chatting to a guy on Hinge for 2 days, so 48 hours. They eventually exchanged numbers, and after 4 days, they planned to meet. But she got cold feet because he was appearing too keen. Keen as in messaging multiple times throughout the day without her responding, and he would do things such as react to messages to get her attention in hopes that she would respond.
Oh, no.
So he's like
Red
written to her,
flags.
she's not written back, so he's like, you know where you put the question mark bubble? Oh, that's so awkward. She attempted the slow fade away, replying after 24 to 48 hours. However, he wasn't getting the message, and she decided to tell him she just wasn't interested in pursuing anything. As a response, he sent her a 6-minute voice message, attempting to convince her to give him a chance. My friend is considering giving him a go because she appreciates the effort he has made. Now, keep in mind, they haven't actually met. I think this is an awful idea, and a 6-minute voice message is a big, giant red flag. What would you do? It is a red flag. I still stand by that.
He sent her a podcast. He created his own podcast
It's
episode
a short film.
and sent it to her. I was very strong about this. I was like, that is a red flag. Any person that you have not met, firstly, and you've said, actually, do you know what? I'm not interested. And they badger you to this extent is like, that to me is.
If you need to do if it's a 6-minute
no.
pitch, if you are like pleading, you are pitching yourself, you got a fucking PowerPoint, you're like, these are the reasons you should go on a date with me. Like, no one should be that frothing at the bit to get the date.
And you also should never go on a date because you pity someone. It's not going to end well.
We've all
Don't
done a
pity
pity
fuck
date.
them. Don't pity date them. How many pity
That's
fucks
how we
have
know.
you done?
I don't pity fuck. I never
have.
have. You? I've
Yeah,
pity
for
dated and I've pity stayed too long, but I haven't pity sexed.
Oh,
I wonder if
I-
people have pity fucked us.
Do you reckon? No, I don't
Probably.
reckon. I don't reckon I've ever needed a pity fuck.
It is really humbling when you turn
Probably.
it around the other way, isn't it? Because I absolutely have. And now, like, obviously, I don't recommend it. It doesn't leave you feeling good. It's a terrible idea. They didn't make me do it. I did it because I felt bad for the whole situation. And then I felt even worse afterwards. I wonder if any man has walked away from that with me and been like, God, I pity fucked her.
I also wonder if I
Probably.
was to make a list of the people that I assume it would have come from, it would probably surprise me that it was the ones that I don't assume.
How dare you?
It's different. Guys aren't pity fucking. Guys aren't like,
thought you
oh,
liked me.
guys aren't like the poor thing. I'll have sex with her. Guys will do it with anyone. Guys like, yeah, let's do it. That's
No,
not a pity
do you know what?
fuck.
We make jokes, but actually it is pretty gross. Like the only times I've done it, I wouldn't say it's pity. It's because I felt badgered into it. I didn't have the self-confidence or the lack
Laura's
of
like, oh, this little incel.
No, the
Oh,
lack of, literally
Oh.
the lack of people pleasing in me in my 20s. I was like, we ended up having sex and I was like, well, I didn't really want to do that. And that is
Yeah, it
like,
sucks.
we joking about it and it's actually the grossest thing ever. Okay, but I'll read
It
you
is
the
gross.
aftermath.
Well, talking of gross things, here
Things
you go.
got weird. After the initial 6-minute voice message, my friend decided to ignore the messages in hopes that he would stop contacting her. Over the course of the following week, he continued to try and make contact through messages asking when she was free to hang out, a second voice memo, and a cold call, followed by a third voice message apologizing for the random phone call as he forgot he had already messaged her. After this, my friend decided to message him, making it very explicitly clear that she wasn't interested and his behavior was too much. He then got fiery and sent some not so nice messages to her. My friend hasn't replied to any of these messages for quite some time and she blocked him. You think that would be the end of the story, but unfortunately it isn't.
Why? Why isn't it over
Because
yet?
he's a fucking crazy person. Things went quiet for a week or so. He then requested to connect with her on LinkedIn. She declined and she blocked him then. He applied for a position at her work. P.S. They do work in a similar profession. However, he would have seen her workplace through her LinkedIn profile. Thankfully, her boss was aware of the situation and rejected his application. There has been no news of him since, but who knows when or how long until he pops up again. This guy is dangerous. That's a dangerous man.
Yeah, as much as we laughed at the start, this is actually so bad. Aggression, not taking the hint, then trying to continue to connect with you elsewhere on LinkedIn and then applying for a job at your job is not a coincidence. I do not care if you work in the same field. This is like I don't want to say he's stalking you yet. I don't want to throw that term around, but this is absolutely not normal behavior and
it's
like
really scary.
very early signs of something that could potentially go south very quickly.
And also, thank God she didn't go on that date with him, because if that's the way he's behaving to someone who he's never met, who he feels some sort of like bizarre connection with just via text messages, imagine how bad that would have been if they'd actually gone on a date and he'd felt as though he had some sort of right or accessibility or anything. Like, I mean, I already think that that's scary enough. It's also a really good lesson and a warning. Like, don't go out on dates with people. Don't connect with people when your intuition's actually telling you, oh, this is feeling like it's not right. It's feeling like a red flag, just because you don't want to upset someone or you don't want to inconvenience them or, you know, let them down. Like, stick to what you think feels safe.
And also, an additional thing that I think is really good is that she made her boss aware of the situation.
Yeah.
Because I think some of us would be like, oh, you know, I don't really want to talk about it. It's awkward and it makes me feel weird. But you telling your boss and then your boss doing the right thing also enabled that application to be rejected. Like,
Absolutely.
Can you imagine how much worse it would have been if they got hired in your workplace?
But it's also like the fact that he, at the start, going back to the start, he badgered her enough that she was like, oh, maybe I should give it a go. Like, he's putting in the effort. Like, just even that switch that a woman feels like that just because a man is showing interest that is enough for us to go on a date with them. Like, it's a wild message, and it definitely took a turn. I wonder if she went to her boss. I imagine it more. I don't imagine her going to her boss saying, hey, I've got this situation I'm really scared of. I imagine she was more just updating people on like how crazy this person is. That's, you know, like, oh my God, I was going on this date with this guy. Like, it sounds like the boss and the workplace is probably more friendly.
I don't know, because my question is how would she have known that he applied for the job? Like, it would have had to have filtered down to her, because, like, you know, as a boss, not everyone in my team knows who has and hasn't applied for a job. So there has to have been some sort of transparency there.
Well, that's why I think that would probably, I wonder if it's like, I mean, it's irrelevant. I just wondered if it was like a friendlier workplace where, like, if you guys would come in and we'd all talk about our dates. It's like me talking about a psycho and then him applying and you going, yeah. So I get
boss saying.
Yeah, but either way, if there's anything to take from that, it is absolutely trust your gut.
Yeah, and it's also that, yes, that was a red flag from the get-go. All right, next question. 5 months ago, my fiance and I broke up. We have a 1.5-year-old boy together and are doing our best to stay civil for our child. When we broke up, my ex asked that I introduce any new partners or potential stepdads to him, my ex, before I introduced them to our son. I agreed and I asked for the same in return. But I recently met a really nice guy who has major potential to be my future. But it has me thinking that I want to experience what he is like around and with my son before I tell my ex that I'm seeing someone. I have mixed emotions, as I do understand where my ex is coming from, but I also don't want to have to tell my ex when I'm seeing someone, as this could potentially just happen again and again and again if this guy doesn't work out. Please help a girl out. What do you think is the best option here? I'm happy to have the conversation with my ex if the situation needs to change, but I genuinely don't know what to do. So our advice on this one was, I mean, if you've made an agreement with someone and you've made an agreement about how to parent your child, you need to stick to that agreement. And also, I kind of spoke from my personal experience. I met a lot of boyfriends and a lot of girlfriends growing up from my mum and from my dad, because they were both single and dating. And looking back now, I think my parents did the best that they could do with what they had and all that sort of shit. But like, I wish I had not met all the boyfriends or all the girlfriends. It was an unnecessary thing for them to trial their relationship on us as kids and see. I think you only introduce a partner if you are absolutely convinced that that partner is a long-term thing and that you actually are invested in them. I don't think you just introduce someone because you want to, see how they are around my kid. Let's just check it out. Yeah, that was kind of where we landed.
Well, it's a short and sweet aftermath. Hey, ladies, so I took your advice on board and I'm looking at things in a very different way now. I haven't yet introduced my son to the new guy, mainly protect him, reflecting on your story growing up, Laura. I wanted to be sure the guy that I welcome my son to is my forever person, and I will do anything to protect my son's confusion. A bit of a twist, though. We love a twist. A bit of a twist. I recently found out his dad has a new partner, and turns out our son has already met her. Now, this makes me feel a little bit sick that I didn't know about it. Nonetheless, I am sticking to my plan to protect the well-being of our son. Thank you for the advice.
But also, so shit that you're here questioning the conversation that you and your ex had around how to navigate this in like the kindest way possible, and that he just went against it and did whatever the fuck he wanted to anyway. Like that was, I would be, there's nothing you can do about it, but I think it shows volume of the character. And I also think that like, you know, good on you for taking the stance of like, okay, this whole situation is going to be hard for all of us, whether you're dating or you're not dating, but the person it's hardest for is a little child who has these parental figures that are coming in and out of their life constantly. And, you know, they don't know when someone's actually going to stick around. I think you're doing the right thing. So
It's also hard though, because no one really knows if something's forever. Like you might think something's forever and then you introduce someone and it doesn't work out. Like
totally.
the number of times I thought I had forever and how?
Yeah, but I think you approach it differently when you've got kids. Like you might not think something's forever, but you also might not think that something, you might think,
Long term.
You might know that something's not as stable as it should be, right? But you're wanting it. And so you're actually in love with the potential of the relationship. If you're in love with potential, don't go introducing potential to your kids. Potential is like for when you're dating and the only person it impacts is yourself. I think the person that you introduce to your kids is that person that you're like, I know they're sound and I know this is stable. Like that's a totally different conversation.
Yeah. Well, the next question I'm sure most of you will remember. It's taking a little bit of a different tone. It doesn't unfortunately have the best outcome. Have a listen.
I've been dating my boyfriend for about 7 to 8 months. He asked me to help him with some work medical claims. He sent over a pack of documents for me to read to help him write a letter. Now, reading the documents, it said that he has herpes. Now, what I'm getting from this is that obviously he'd had some medical tests done that he needed to like obviously have like a health check.
Didn't see all the results.
And he didn't realize that this was in the bylines. For context, when we first started dating, I made sure that we both had had sexual health checks. He was pushing to have sex without a condom at the time, something that I had never done before and didn't feel comfortable doing without an STI check prior. The test came back with no issues flagged, so we started having unprotected sex. 7 months later, I read this document. He says initially to me that, oh, he just forgot to tell me. Then ended up telling me that he intentionally lied to me because he thought I would break up with him if I knew. Additional context to this is that his previous ex-girlfriend gave him the herpes and also didn't tell him until 2 months into their dating. I don't know what to do. I thought that this guy was my penguin. Help.
Okay, I'm going to get straight into her response on this one. Sadly, this story sucks and is just heartbreaking for me. My partner was so apologetic, listened to everything I said, went to couples therapy together, and I really thought things could genuinely repair from this. But fast forward another 8 months and I have found out that he had been cheating on me constantly for that entire time with many people. We continued couples therapy and he gaslit me the entire time through it. I found out little snippets along the way, but I didn't know the full story. I thought he would change, that we could work things through. He had no interest in changing any of his behavior. He became emotionally abusive by the end of our relationship and in one instance, physically abusive. We've broken up now. I feel broken that I accepted this level of behavior in the beginning. I don't even know how I let this happen to me. It's definitely done a number on my self-worth and trust, trying to rebuild and process this absolute shit show. I wish I had the strength to leave earlier. I love how Laura said in your most recent Aftermath episode about if she had loved herself more and prioritized how her partner was destroying her mental health, she would have chosen herself. I'm really trying hard to do that now, and it was very powerful hearing that.
I'm so sorry that you're going through this. And I think also this is a reminder about how when you're in a relationship with someone who is purposefully deceitful and purposefully manipulating you, the story, and the situation, it's like a frog in a boiling pot of water. Like it starts off fine and it's like you don't realize what you're in until everything around you is fucking melting down and you can't get out. Like it really can happen to anyone if you are dating someone who is that level of manipulative. And it sounds like that's exactly who this person was. And I don't want you to take that on board as though you're the problem in this situation because your good nature fell for someone who is this fucking like just corrupt in every essence. Like no normal person cheats on their partner with multiple people, is abusive, lies about it, and then goes to the extent of going to couples therapy to really solidify the lie. Like that's such a level of manipulation and deceit that it's no wonder that you kept thinking maybe it can get better because he's clearly trying when he you know what I mean? Like just don't blame yourself for how manipulative this piece of shit is.
And I also think that people in those situations, like the line here, I feel broken that I accepted this level of behavior. I know all of us have been in it. I know for sure I've been in it, where there is a moment where you're kind of like, I think it usually happens in a bedroom and you're alone and you go, how the fuck did I get here? Like, how did I allow this to happen? Like, what increments had to happen for me to get to this position? This is so bad.
But that's it. They're increments.
Yeah.
And you accept one little thing at a time. And then all of a sudden the entire reality is different. And you're like, I don't understand how this happened. You do understand because you can start to line up, oh, that was a lie and that was a lie. And then he did that and that was a lie. When he said he was here, he was actually there and that was a lie.
Yeah.
And it's like all of those pieces start to come together. And when you can see them from afar, you're like, oh, it makes so much sense. But when you're in it, you can't see that.
And also, you wouldn't ever assume that someone would treat you like that. That's how
Of
it
course
happens
not.
so gradually because you would never treat someone like that. So that's kind of how the manipulation works on people like you because you would never be that fucked to another person.
Yeah.
The thing in this is, for me, is that the most important thing is you're out and you've done and you've seen it and you realize it and you know it. So that's great. That's step one. Number two, and I hate that you're saying it's done a number on my self-worth and my trust. I'm trying to rebuild. I don't know how to move on. The thing that I really want to drive home in these situations is he has already taken so much of you and so much of your time and your energy and your self-worth. Don't let him take any more in your future. And, you know, the saying, not all men, I know it's most, but it's not all. I would hate for this to taint how you move into the future in terms of being able to trust people. Should it make you more wary? Absolutely. Do you have some blinders off now? Are you more aware of different behaviors? You see red flags earlier? Yes. And that is the beauty of living and learning and dating. You take something from every relationship, but don't let that impact your future. Like, I still want you to go and date. I still want you to go and try and meet people because there are some really beautiful people out there that would never ever treat you that way.
Yeah, but I do think it's really important to try and take a step back and figure out, is there a pattern here? Like, are you attracted to a type of person? Was this guy a total outlier? Was he a total, like, just complete red herring that ended up being a different type of guy? Or have you always been attracted to people that end up lying and don't really treat you that well? Like, often this can be a slippery slope and it snowballs, and then the last person you date is like, wow, he was way worse than the guy before that, you know?
So
But it's
true.
because you have a type. And I think look for the blueprint, look for the type. And if that is the case, work on why the fuck do you have that type and try and break that pattern before you get back into dating. Or you will end up dating another person like this because you will seek them out, and you will seek them out for all the qualities that you liked that were, you know, the intensity at the beginning. Like, you know, and it can happen again.
This is our last aftermath of today. We saved this one to the end because she basically was like, screw you guys.
I like the headline for this. Separated, but I need sex. Well, let's unpack. Hey guys, I need some help. My husband and I had separated in March. We've been together for 12 years, married for 7 with 2 kids under 5. It has been amicable. And to be honest, I think I mourned the relationship a long time before we actually separated. My question is this though. I am horny.
That's a statement. That's not
Good on you. Lol, in no way, shape, or form am I ready to date a man, but a girl has needs. My girlfriends keep saying that I should just get on the apps, which seems like it's good in theory, except that I live in a very small city where everyone knows everyone, and I know I will come across his mates on the apps who will tell him that I'm on there, and then they will be even more nastier than he is now. I just don't know if I should say fuck it and do it, or is it too soon? Help.
So our response was vaguely along the lines of, you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. But also, if you know that going online in this really small town is going to be problematic and he's going to make your ex treat you worse and bring in all this stuff, it was like, is the juice worth the squeeze? We were like, can you just go out and have sex organically? Like, can you meet in the wild so they don't know? Can you go away for a weekend and just like find a weekend fuck? There were all these options to be like, is there an easier way to get your juice without ruining the squeeze.
Yeah, we were like, go like set your notification, your app, your distance to like, I don't know, Sydney, and then go and have a weekend away with the girls and not actually with the girls and just go hang some bangs. I don't know. A part of us were like, do you want to introduce the drama into your life this soon after separation?
Yeah.
Or if you're happy with the drama and you don't care and maybe you want to fuck his friends, go for gold. And this is what you had to say.
Well, it's also, last thing, is because I was also from a really small town, and I know that if I went on an online dating app in my town, every single person would know about it, including every ex I've ever had, including my future exes. Everyone's going to know about it. So this is the aftermath. Thanks, ladies, for answering my question. So I didn't take your advice at all. Which we love. Yes, Queen, go off. I went on Hinge, and let's just say the drought is over.
Woo!
Look, if things were more amicable in our separation and he wasn't being such a nasty man and he respected me possibly, maybe I would have waited. I was sick of letting him rule my life though, and I needed a little bit of fun.
And you know what? I love that there has been no bad fallout from this. You got what you needed. He's cranky, but he was cranky anyway, and he can get over it.
Go off, Queen.
And we like to hear when you didn't take our advice, because I think we were like, do you need the drama? Wait a little while. Go on a holiday. But you were like, no, I fucked in my small town and I'm having a great time.
It's one of those
And I
things.
see that guy on the weekend and then at the service station and then at the shops. And you know what? I don't even care about it.
There's one of those questions where you write in just hoping that they say what you want to say, but you were always going to do it anyway. Like
Of
you were
course you were.
always going to go. And it's great. Good
And
on you.
You know what? Thinking about it now as well, like our advice, it was too much admin. Like no one's going to do that. If I'm living in a small town, I'm not organizing a getaway on the weekend to go and like have sex with random people and sit. I'm just not doing it.
I did it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
That's only because my radius ran out of Sydney.
Where did you go?
I had to
What
go
was
else-
your
Well, anywhere. 60 countries, Laura. I did what I had to do. I was a woman on a mission.
What did you? Nah. Sydney's pretty big. You could have always got someone coming
Don't
through.
rub it in, mate.
I know.
Sydney was big and my radius ran out. All
So
right.
did mine. So did mine when I was online dating. He would always say, there's no one left in your area. I was like, I live in the most populated city in Australia.
And
What
also,
do you mean?
Once you hit that, you're like, oh, okay, I'll go 18 to 60.
Increases age range, increases kilometers.
That's
still
how I
runs out.
ended up having sex with a 70-year-old. We'll leave it with that. No, I'm joking.
and that's who you guys know as Grampy.
No, that is a joke. I have never. What's been my oldest?
45 when I was 30.
43.
But how old were you?
Because
Because like right now, that's only a tiny bit
29.
different. Oh yeah.
29.
Yeah.
I think I would have done slightly more of an age gap than that, but not by much.
28. 18. Like, okay.
It was my 18th birthday.
All right,
No,
guys,
that's
that's enough from us. If you haven't asked Uncut Aftermath for us, send them on in. We want to know what has happened in your life. We need the updates. If there's been an update to the update, send them in. And you guys know we've got some extra sweet little morsels dropping during this holiday season. We're back on the 26th, but we'll have another episode for you this coming Thursday.
And go and hit up the YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe, follow along, give us a little thumbs up if you want, and comment as well, you know.
And that's it, guys. You know the drill.
Tell your mum, tell your dad, tell your dog, tell your friends, and share the love because
We love love.